welcome to the Festival of Storytellers.
I can't tell you how excited I am to be on right now. It's been a couple of weeks of excitement, getting prepared, and I've done a lot of things in my life, but this has got to be close to the top.
Thank you, Reader's Magnet, and thank you, John, for putting this forth and taking the chance on us authors in presenting this out to the world.
I've enjoyed this immensely, Joanne.
Ellie, so have I. Thank you for who you are, and thank you, Reader's Magnet. You all are beautiful, and you've worked so very hard, and we are blessed.
We are.
I thank everybody that's involved with this process, because we know writers need readers and writers need publishers. We thank Reader's Magnet and everybody that's involved. I love Reader's Magnet. They say, we share your stories with the world.
Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to this segment of Festival of Storytellers, sponsored by Reader's Magnet. My name is David Dockter, and I am the author of a book called Black Rock Redemption that some of you may have read. But I am here today to talk to you about my new book. It is called Wagon Train Orphan. It is the story of a young boy who and his dog, who are the only survivors of a wagon train massacre in the 1850s. This is the story of how Mike Fagan grows up and survives and becomes a man through the help of all of the people he meets along the way and his faith in God. As I said, and his faith in God. This is a story where he is guided by the Bible through his life. His father, when he talks about his father, he says his father taught him two main things: how to read the Bible and how to shoot, and he was good at both. This is spiritually background within the book, but it is also a typical Western with lots of action. It tells about Mike's journey from Texas and through Colorado and on into California, and he meets all kinds of people along the way: whites, Indians, and Hispanics. And just like today, the people that are involved with them, there's people there that are good and there's people that are evil. And some people, they think themselves as good, but they're greedy and they want to take everything they can get. And being young, there's people that think that they can run over the top of Mike. Mike's father told him that he was going to, they were going to a country that wasn't truly the United States, but they were bringing the ideals of the Constitution and the Declaration of Independence with them, because that was the way for people to grow and live together. So, and he said that it was always be up to Mike and people like him to defend the weaker and to make sure that justice was carried out. Mike, in some ways, is a typical pioneer, and this country was grown by the pioneering spirit of the people that came west. The people that came west in this country didn't come like other people in other migrations in other parts of the world. They came because their kings or chiefs or something told them to and pushed them, or they came because they migrated to find safer lands because of warring tribes and stuff that were pushing them out. The American migration is the only one that was individualized. Nobody, no government or anybody else told these people they had to go west. They come west in order to find a better life for them and their families. They didn't always succeed. A lot of them died along the way. It is said on the Oregon Trail that there was probably, good to see you again too, Justic. There's as they say, there was on the Oregon Trail, there was a grave for every mile, but a lot of people did make it. And some of them people, like I said, they weren't so nice. They were evil. Some of them wanted everything that everybody else had. Others wanted everything they could grab. And no, my book isn't based on true events. It's completely fiction. There's people and places within the story that are real, such as the colonel at Fort Defiance in Arizona, or Captain Jack, the chief of the Modoc in Northern California. But all the events in this book and all the situations are purely fictional, even if there are historical figures involved. There's places like Bent's Fort, Fort Defiance, Sacramento that are there. There's other places that are just places out of my imagination, but I think this story is a true picture of what life might have been like back then. I tried to describe and talk about the weapons that were used during this time frame. Some of the weapons I may not have exactly right, and some of them I have are probably I list in the story, or are probably a little later than what the story actually brings them out, but they tell of the development and the intellect and determination of the people that came west. I was motivated to write this book because I have always been a Western fan. I believe that the Western period in our country was the greatest, one of the greatest periods in the world. And we will never out in this country outgrow the Western ideals. There are other morals and ideals from other times in this country that come into play, but during our westward expansion, there was nothing to compare to it. Esogin Caballeros asked me if this book reminds me of anything I have already read or seen. Well, there are some scenes in the book that might be stereotypical, that they might, that you would find in almost any Western. Horses, gunfights, Indians. I tried to show all the cultures that are I come across in the book on an even, steady basis. And like I says, there was good and there was evil in all cultures. You just had to learn to understand them. We as some whites and Americans, sometimes we didn't really play fair, shall we say, with other cultures. But that's the way things, that we all know that, and things we're trying to change that within this country, and it is happening. My biggest fan while I was writing this book, Rochelle asks, I guess you'd have to say it was my kids. They were all thrilled with my first book, and they encouraged me with this one. And others that read my first book were always asking, when are you going to have another one out? And for an author, that makes you feel good, and it helps you to be motivated. Now, I'm going to tell you a little bit about myself. I was born and raised in Pueblo, Colorado, and I grew up in the 50s and 60s. My activities in high school were rodeoing, hunting, and fishing. And to support these activities, I held several different jobs in high school. I was a janitor at the Dunkin' Donuts. I worked construction for a pool building company. And I bucked hay. I hauled hay for 6 different dairies within Pueblo County. Now, if you want a job that's hard, buck hay all day, every day, and for about 3 months. And by the time you're done, you're going to be in really, really good shape, let me tell you. Upon graduation, I joined the Navy and spent 4 years active with 12 years reserve. I also married my high school sweetheart, and we had 4 kids, beautiful kids, and we were together for 28 years before I lost her. I now live in Ordway, Colorado, where I met my second wife. Wonderful lady. We didn't stay married very long, unfortunately, but I'm still great friends with her. I keep active within the community, and I have been serving as an elder in my church for the last 12 years. Riceland, I know you always seem proud of your family, but you know, you're proud of your father. My kids are proud of me, but I'll bet you your father is proud as punch over you too. Right now, I still have my hobbies of hunting and fishing, fishing and camping, I should say. I'm not physically able to do much hunting anymore, but I still like to go camping in the mountains of Colorado. There's no place on earth where you can feel the beauty and the majesty and the serenity of God's creation. This is a great day to be alive in this country, because we've got so many things going on. We've got bad things going on too, but we've got good things. We need to concentrate and push and encourage everything that's good. And we need to stand up for what is right within our Constitution, and what is right within our countries, in our communities. I have some other projects that I'm starting to work on and think about. I have already been asked if there will be a sequel to Wagon Train Orphan. It's possible. There's more things that I think Mike can accomplish that need to be told about. And my first book, Black Rock Redemption, I have had lots of readers ask me about another sequel to that one. So there's two projects that may come to fruition. And then I'm thinking about a story set in the 1600s, around 1650 to 1670 or so, about the Irish indentured servants that were sent over to this country, how they were treated and how they survived, and what all they did. Again, these will all more than likely be fictional, but there will be a lot of historical research to them. And the other one project I am currently working on is the story of a soldier who comes home wounded and suffering from PTSD. And it is a story about how he adapts and comes back, and how he recovers from PTSD, or I can't say recover because I don't believe you ever completely recover from PTSD, but you learn how to handle the situation sensibly. I have enjoyed this Festival of Storytellers beyond measure. It has put me in touch with people from all over. And I hope they enjoy my stories. And I hope they find inspiration and motivation from them. I personally probably started writing 100 different stories from the time I was in my 20s until I finally wrote Black Rock Redemption. And my motivation there was God. He helped me, and that story just kind of seemed to flow. And it took me about 6 months to get it written and published. But that's the first one I ever finished, and I was so happy and proud of it. And I started this Wagon Train Orphan very soon after, and it's taken me about 4.5 years to get it written and published. But again, I feel like I was guided by the Almighty the whole way. Everything you do in life needs to be guided by Christ. You need to have Him in the center of everything you do, whether it's writing, whether it's teaching, whether it's just being a parent and just being a parent. A parent isn't just, it's a major thing. Yeah, you need him involved in all your relationships. And I hope that people will realize that and come to understand that through reading my books and also through their own experience. I see by the clock that we've only got a couple of minutes left. And I wish to thank you all for tuning in. I would like more. Let's see, I got another question. I've got a question. Who was the younger man on your book's cover? That's actually supposed to be Mike, and at that time he's supposed to be 8 years old. Okay, and the dog that's beside him, that's Wolf. That's his half wolf and half Indian dog, and he got him as a present when his dad and the man they were traveling with started west from St. Louis. And Wolf is a big part of the reason that Mike survived. Mike has a special ability with animals, and it comes out and show in different stories about the book. I've answered that, Rachel, about the biggest fan while I was writing my book. My kids. They're kind of scattered all over the country right now, but there's nothing better than family. It is time for me to go. I would encourage you to pick up a copy of my book. I would also encourage you, after you read it, to write a review on it. Especially if you like it. If you don't like it, I would kind of like to know that too. But I appreciate everybody that tunes in and has listened to me while I yak about my book and my life. Thank you, and we'll see you next time.